Hi Coiners, I am just finishing the school drop-off and thought that I'd make a little video about the most boring thing that I could possibly talk about in such an exciting environment, which is tax legislation surrounding how to handle Qoin. I've just noticed there's not a lot of information out there about it, contradicting things, and the reason for that is because it's a complicated issue. So I just thought I'd mention a couple of things to help enlighten some people, maybe, or just help explain it a little bit. Please note, disclaimer here, please note that the information provided in this little video is general in nature and might not relate to your specific circumstances. So first things first, Qoin. Very exciting. Obviously this isn't a marketing video, otherwise I wouldn't be doing it while I was driving at such an extremely unflattering angle. So Qoin is very, very, very exciting, but very new. Now people might argue that it doesn't follow the rules of cryptocurrency and it's not actually a true cryptocurrency because it's not decentralized, and there's a few other rules that it doesn't kind of follow in traditional cryptocurrency environments. However, for taxation purposes and legislation, it is a cryptocurrency, therefore it must be treated as such. Now people get really confused about that because it is really, really confusing. The legislation around that is confusing. So firstly, yes, it is taxed. Yes, you have to pay GST on any money that you collect if you are GST registered in your business. Any gains that you make on cryptocurrency are taxable. Now how they are taxed is a different scenario, depending on how you utilize your coin. So this is where it does get a little bit complicated. So with Qoin, there are two ways that it can be calculated as profit. So one is capital gains, which is the gain that you make on the buyers and the sells when you actually cash it out and realize it against fiat. The other one is if you treat it like a currency, it's gains on currency. So if it was $6 and it's now worth $6.50, then you've made 50 cents. The same way that it would work on a US dollar bank account. If you had a US dollar bank account that was worth $100, it's now worth $150. You've had a gain of $50 just because currency has changed. So how you use your wallet will basically determine how you're taxed, or how your profit is calculated. So the difference between the two, if you are making a sale and holding it in your account for future to one day sell it, you are not really operating it as a trading account. Which means that when you cash it out, you are going to be classed as, it's going to be categorized as capital gains because you've held it for the purposes of making a profit at conversion. If you are using it to do lots of buys and sells for the purposes of just you're buying it and you're selling it to make a profit, and you're doing that on a regular basis and operating it as an investment style business, then it becomes trading stock. In the same way that if you had shares and you were doing lots and lots of trading in shares, ins and outs and buys and sells, then that would be considered trading stock and then would get taxed as just regular income, not capital gains, and the capital gains rules wouldn't apply. If you are using it as a business bank account, which means that you are transacting in it, you are receiving sales into that account, you are using it to buy products, you are using it for meeting expenses, you are using it to pay your staff commissions, or whatever you're using it for, but you're transacting in it like it's a bank account, then it gets treated like a bank account, and like you would be trading in any other currency bank account. Therefore you then take into consideration the daily gains or losses in the value of the the currency. Now this is a really, really complicated subject when it comes to the taxation and the reporting and the bookkeeping around this. So one of the tips that I recommend is you get involved with, you speak to your accountant about this, or your bookkeeper about this really, really early on, and set up a plan for how you're going to manage it. So that you are recording it correctly from day one. We all know that when you've got to go back and start cleaning this stuff up, it can become an absolute nightmare, and it can become twice as difficult, if not more so, when you've got to go back and clean it up, especially with Qoin. It's hard enough with a normal business bank account, when you can actually see where you spent the money and it's got a business name associated with it. With Qoin and the transactions that are in Qoin, you don't have a business name associated with your transaction. You've got a wallet address. You can't put any form of reference in there. So trying to go back in 6 months' time to try and figure out what that transaction related to is going to be quite a difficult exercise. So I recommend that you get on to somebody really early in your Qoin experience, and make sure that you've got these systems set up nice and early. I secondly recommend, highly recommend this, is that you can create more than one wallet with your business profile. So if you are having a business account and you are transacting in your business account for your business purchases, but you are also planning on using some of your funds for personal things, holidays, meals with the family, stuff, that you create a second wallet that is for personal transactions. You transfer some of your Qoin from your business wallet into your personal wallet and do your personal transacting from that wallet. The reason that I recommend this is the same reason that every business should have a business account and a personal account. It's going to keep your business transactions so much neater and tidier, and when it comes to trying to account for them, you'll be able to identify those transactions that relate to your business expenses and your personal expenses so much easier if you just create that secondary wallet and then just keep those things separate. I highly recommend you start a spreadsheet really, really early so that you keep a record of when you're buying, selling, receiving income, or making an expense kind of transaction, just to keep an eye on, just so that you've got an idea of what you spent and when you spent it. Because money coming in and money going out of your wallet, whether it's income or whether it's a purchase, looks exactly the same. You can't identify them any different, and like I said, there's no references. So try and keep a spreadsheet really, really early of these things. Thinking about just, we use one, but I'm thinking about just maybe sharing that as a, I don't know, Google Docs link or something, so people can download just a really basic template that we use with some formulas in it, so that people can use that. I'm also thinking about putting together maybe some webinars or Zoom meetings or something like that to help people understand and transact just in a way that isn't going to create a mess or a drama later. The other thing that I want to let you all know is, you know how in the BTX and it records your KYC information, that's know your customer. That's because when you're cashing in and cashing out, all of that information needs to be sent through to the ATO, or not to the ATO, to AUSTRAC, and AUSTRAC also links everything through to the ATO. As an accountant, when I pull down a pre-fill, which is basically letting me know what has happened with that person for last financial year, or the information that the accountants get a hold of, it tells me whether somebody's involved in crypto. So if you think that the ATO won't know about this account, please know that Qoin or BTX has an obligation to notify government agencies about these transactions, which is why we all needed to provide our license number and those sorts of things when we signed up to BTX. They know you can't hide this. Don't make it a nightmare for your bookkeeper and accountant at the end of the year and yourself, and stress yourself out by it. Let's just kind of try and get it all happening nice and easy from the get-go. Shoot me any questions that you might have if you have any. And yeah, I hope this might be helpful. Sorry about my rant and talking boring tax so early in the morning, and sorry about all the beautiful shots up my nose. It's a wonderful angle. All right, Happy coining.